Coming up, we have a recap of the first day of the season. This is Locked On Game to Game NHL.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game NHL, local experts on the biggest stories on the ice. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. You can subscribe to Locked On NHL and your team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts. We've got our Locked On NHL hosts here. They are ready to tell you everything you need to know from the first night of the season. First win of the NHL season went to the Rangers in the Garden on Tuesday as New York broke open a 1-1 tie in the third period. Mika Zibanejad scored the deciding goals for New York. Locked On Rangers recaps a fun Game 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is bona fide New York Ranger hockey. What is going on, everybody? This is John Chick with Locked On New York Rangers, and the Rangers just closed out a season-opening 3-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning, a game in which I thought they had the better play for pretty much the whole night, save for a couple spots here and there. But, you know, my favorite part about a win like this, I mean, obviously, look, it's great to start the season with a win over the three-time Eastern Conference champ and the team that eliminated you last year. But when I say Ranger hockey, as I just did, you guys don't need me to tell you what that means. It means playing defensively responsible. It means excellent work on the special teams, both units. It means Igor Shesterkin being Igor Shesterkin, and the Rangers playing their absolute best when they absolutely have to, that being the third period. The Rangers were tied at 1 going into the third period of this game, ran away with the win and completely dominated the final 20 minutes. And a special shout out to Mika Zibanejad, the most consistently excellent forward on the New York Rangers. And I don't say that lightly, considering that, you know, he shares the ice with Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin. But man, this guy just brings it every single night. I think people around the league know that he's a really good player. I'm not sure anybody knows just how good he really is and just how consistent he is. But we're going to talk about all this good stuff on the next episode of Locked On New York Rangers. Do not miss it.
The Kings are hoping offseason additions like Kevin Fiala can help make a playoff team from last year into a Stanley Cup winner, while the Golden Knights in Vegas just want to make it back to the playoffs after missing the postseason for the first time in franchise history. Locked On Golden Knights and Locked On Kings recap the second part of the first day doubleheader.
The Golden Knights win in dramatic fashion to start the regular season. Hey everybody, Chris Golick here with Locked On Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights win the opener of the regular season in Los Angeles, defeating the Kings by a score of 4-3. Marchessault, Carlson, Eichel, and of course, expressive Mark Stone were on the board for this one. Mark Stone scoring with just over 20 seconds left in the game. Golden Knight fans, you might have something to be excited about this season. Last season, if you recall, so many times that we would get so many shots on net, only get a couple goals to show for it. Not today, folks. We are on the board, off and running. It's a good start to the regular season. Folks, for more information about the Vegas Golden Knights, check down Locked On Vegas Golden Knights, anywhere you get your podcasts, your team every day.
The LA Kings let one slip away in the final seconds. Hi, I'm Eddie Garcia with the Locked On LA Kings podcast. In the home opener and the regular season opener for the Los Angeles Kings, they lose one 4-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights. This one started slow. It was only 1-1 after 2 periods, but in the third, Jack Eichel would score for the Vegas Golden Knights to give them the lead. Adrian Kempe would score for the Kings to tie it up. It would be William Karlsson scoring for Vegas, Arthur Kaliev tying it up for LA. It looked like we were going to overtime, but with just 26 seconds left in the game, Mark Stone would score on a wrist shot, and Vegas skates away with the 4-3 victory. Hats off to LA Kings goaltender Jonathan Quick, who finished with 47 saves in a losing effort. And in his debut as a Los Angeles King, the big offseason acquisition for LA, Kevin Fiala took a bad penalty late in the second. It ended up having a hand in the Vegas Golden Knights scoring a goal in this one. He finished with no points and was a -1. For more on the LA Kings, check out the Locked On LA Kings podcast, your team every day.
That's all for today on Locked On Game to Game NHL. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every weekday. Make sure you go subscribe to Locked On NHL and your team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.